Wow. Hang on. I guess that it's just like a reflection coming in the room, but what's going on, guys? So, basically today we do got some stuff on the schedule. I'm gonna put a little bit of work into basically what's called the depth of market. I think it's gonna help out a little bit. Um, So that's a lot of what I'm gonna be doing today. However, before I get started with that, I'm gonna go ahead and run through a couple of things on this chart. And man, there's a lot of stuff that you can look into. There's a lot of stuff that I've been looking into. Um, Obviously, news, uh, your value of the U.S. dollar, the dollar index. Um, Sometimes I'll come over here and see what kind of signals they got going on. To tell you the truth, out of the time that I've been doing that, I've kind of found that all of those things pretty much just they just don't help. I've seen days with three big news events, and all day I just have a balanced market, not really much going on, and then I've seen them uh, with no events on the calendar, and the thing just completely freaks out. So I think I'm going to kind of redo my preliminary setups, and I'll probably just stick with the price action. And that's until further notice. So I'm gonna clean up this chart. All right, this here is our daily chart. These are all lines from previous days, but today, so far, as you can see, pretty much nothing's going on. Okay, so we're right on the edge of yesterday's close, but so far, quite an indecisive day. So what I kind of see here, where I want to get some lines, is definitely down here at the bottom. All right, where this price bottomed out, I hung out for a little bit. I definitely want to know about that line, since that's a bottom. You're gonna make it red. All right. Okay. As far as what else I want to see on my daily, it does look like price struggled quite a bit right here, and it looks like it popped over for just a minute, but it got rejected pretty quickly. So I think I'll go ahead and put another horizontal line there. Okay, I'm gonna hit it at the top of this wick actually. All right, so here it looks like I probably ran into some supply. Here I ran into I'm sorry, a demand and a supply up here. So we're gonna be working within those two lines today. So with that being said, I'm gonna step it down a little bit, take a look at our 30-minute chart. So there's our two lines. Now our 30-minute is showing me something kind of interesting. One thing about me and the way that I trade, man, I swear by these diagonal trend lines. It's something that I learned early on in my trading endeavors, and the one of very few things that has kind of stuck around to appear to be fairly true. So do I want to draw that, or do I want to draw that? Yeah. No, honestly, the line isn't really prominent enough for me to. It's not like trending enough for me. I don't think. I'll go ahead and put something there anyways, just in case. But I'm not gonna take it too seriously. Start here and get that bad boy like that. And obviously, we want to take note that this trend line has been broken already, right? also, we have like a candle right here that made an attempt to bounce off of it and really did so pretty punily. Actually was completely engulfed by the red candle that was prior to that. So those are things we're gonna wanna keep in mind. Let's go ahead and switch back over to our 5 minute now. And, take a look at our footprint. Okay. All right, here's the footprint. First thing that I notice, we got a little bit of volume occurring in certain areas, but nothing to be too crazy interested in. And I'm gonna shorten this down a little bit so I can kind of get a good idea of what's really going on. So, all right. Yeah, so this is pretty much, we just have a lot of overlap in price. Not a whole lot getting accomplished by either side. Yeah. Okay. I'll be honest with you guys, I don't really see an opportunity at the moment. Okay, I mean, if it's not there, it's not there. It's definitely more common for it not to be there than it is for it to be there. So I think what I'll probably do is do the right thing here and yeah, give this a little bit of time. See if it wants to iron itself out a little bit, and if something comes up, then we'll pay attention then. But for the time being, I'll probably jump off of here, and I'm going to go ahead and start working on that depth of market chart that I was telling you guys about. So, excuse me, anything starts happening, and I'll make sure that I start the feedback up, and we can go from there. All right. Okay, forgot to turn on the mic. So, we have an accumulation going on here, high volume stacking right next to each other, overlapping. So we're going to be watching this carefully, looking for basically some kind of indication as to which way it's going to break, because it definitely is. It definitely is. Looks like we've been kind of pushing up a little bit on our price chart, but it failed to bounce. Okay, so price chart, it failed to bounce here. We would have expected to see that. Actually, let's take a quick look at it and see how that looks. Yeah, it's still got a chance. There's probably still a chance that this is going to take off to the upside. Personally, I don't think that it is, but I don't have enough information to make that decision yet. So we're going to keep an eye on the footprint and see where that sent us. See how we have these edges down here. That's where we really want to pay attention to whatever it is that the market is doing. It's going to break one of these edges, and if it does break to the top, we're going to have some resistance pretty shortly. If it breaks to the bottom, it could. It just depends. See, what it's doing right now is kind of like the last thing that I want to deal with in the center there. It's a terrible place to be. I'm going to be on the one side of the edge. That way I can have a tight stop loss. Really, the only shocking delta that we have is that one red bar where, you know, we had a lot of initiative from our sellers here, but it only means so much, man. I mean, that could mean that, you know, there's a buy order sitting there, and it was just absorbing everything that somebody was willing to get rid of. Or it could just be aggression from the seller sense. Hard to find out, hard to know, tough to tell. I think I'm gonna switch this over to a different style chart. There we go. Oh, broke to the bottom. Broke to the bottom. Man, that was like super parabolic, and I literally just hit a spread at like 2.5, dude. That's ridiculous. It's gonna come right back in here. Unbelievable, dude. Can't believe it just hit a damn spread that big. It's ridiculous. Now we're seeing a little bit of profit. I'm gonna get ready to take a little bit here shortly. I'm not really seeing a whole lot of resistance from my buyers coming from the other side, so probably take price a little bit. And I'll switch this back over so I can see it clearly actually. Not a lot of liquid. So here we go. Let's keep on heading down. I'm probably going to go ahead and collect half of this. Lock half of this in here shortly. Still not seeing a lot of buy action. There's a little bit. Definitely will call it lock in half. We still have half on the board. And we're going to be looking for some resistance on the chart here to jump out of the rest of it. Alright. Still pushing. Not seeing much liquidity show up. We're starting to get a little bit of a wick at the bottom. We do have a POC that we just approached. Okay, we've got a POC really standing out pretty much in the abyss, so if that candle, I do think it's going to make it down to it, that's probably where I should go ahead and let myself bounce out of this one. Almost there. Almost there. We're at the very edge of the rest of the volume now. As you can see, we've got a matching delta and a ridiculous amount of volume. That's what we like to see. There's some liquid. I'm out of the trade. Alright, so not bad for the first trade of the day. Now that I made something happen, I'm actually gonna walk away. I'm gonna let this decide what it wants to do, whether it wants to continue down or whether the buyer's gonna fight it back. I think it'll probably continue down, and I'll kick myself in the butt later, but that's alright. Alright,